Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. A very controversial episode of Monday Night Raw tonight for a multitude of reasons, and we are here to talk about it right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Monday Night Raw review. Let's do it!
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
All right, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. The big dog is back, Jack, and whether you love him, whether you hate him, whether you believe it or you don't, Roman Reigns has returned to Monday Night Raw in typical Roman Reigns-like fashion, and since the guy is no longer sick, we are going to continue along as if it never happened. We are not even going to address the first 20 minutes of this show. I am very, very glad to announce that Joe Anoa'i is cancer-free as of today. He has beaten leukemia the same way he has beaten some of the best in the business, only this time deservedly so. And I'm happy that the guy is healthy and back at Monday Night Raw. What I am not happy about is that they decided to use him in the exact same way that they used him when he left. So he's just going to continue being this Shield big dog Roman Reigns. Fine. Whatever. It's business as usual on Monday Night Raw. And this, in my opinion, wherever you stand on it is where you stand. We are not going to talk about it. All right? We are not going to talk about the elephant in the room. I don't care anymore. It doesn't even matter, you guys. It is what it is. And we are just going to go on. We're just going to go on right past it. And if one day, all I'm going to say, if one day, 10 years from now, maybe one day when we are long gone and we might not even be here to receive the news, if it ever is made public that this whole thing was not true, then you, like myself, will be able to say, I thought so. Just for a second, I thought so. But we are going to go on. We are going to go on. And we're moving past it. And that is that. We're just glad the guy is healthy and back. We are not happy about how we are going back down the same old Roman road. It'll be interesting to see where they set his sights for WrestleMania. Against Dean Ambrose, who's bad guy one week, good guy next week, going crazy. His own wife is saying he's losing his mind on Monday Night Raw. We don't know. That's a possibility. Is he going to be teamed back up with a makeshift Shield and go up against Braun and two idiots of their choosing, whether it's Drew and Bobby or Bobby and Leo or any mixed combination of trash that we have to be subjected to on Monday Night Raw, which was still there tonight. There was all kinds of trash on Monday Night Raw as usual. It made it pretty much boring for the most part, but we cannot go any further without addressing the real big news of the evening, which is the return of another big guy, Big Dave Batista. Drax the Destroyer made his return to Monday Night Raw, and I absolutely loved this. For the first time, and I can't tell you how long, Monday Night Raw went off the air and I was actually hyped. I was hyped for the return of Dave Batista. That segment was absolutely beautiful. I'm sitting through this Ric Flair 70th birthday bash and we got Sting coming out. And we got Ricky Steamboat coming out, chopping everybody on the ramp on his way out. I don't know why Stephanie McMahon had to be a fucking part of this thing, but we'll go past that as well. We got Triple H as the maitre d'. We got Shawn Michaels in the ring. And I'm like, where the fuck is Ric Flair? This is his birthday. He should have been like the first guy out there. He should have been having all his friends coming out to see him one by one. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why isn't he at his own birthday party? And then I'm thinking to myself, well, where the fuck is Charlotte? Is she even in that gaggle of idiots on the ramp there? I don't even know why they were all there and not around the ring or something, or in the ring, like being part of the party. What were they, at the fucking kids' table on the stage up there? Like, what's going on? I wasn't understanding this celebration is the point I'm trying to get to, because Ric Flair was not there. We seen Ric Flair all night long. We seen him walking with Wendy in the back. We seen him all over the place. But when the party's going on, we don't see fucking Ric Flair. We see Stephanie, we see Triple H, we see all these faces. All right, but that's neither here nor there. We come to learn that Dave Batista has made his entrance into the arena. And our first glimpse of this man is he is grabbing a cameraman and dragging him like a gorilla with the force of an actual ape, and is dragging him with purpose somewhere. At this point, we don't know where he's going. Obviously, it's got something to do with Ric Flair and his whereabouts, right? So he brings him into Ric Flair's room, and then we have Triple H in the ring looking at what's going on. We got Dave Batista grabbing the cameraman, and he's like, I have your attention now, Triple H, as he drags the carcass of Ric Flair out of his dressing room in the back. Absolutely brutal. And I enjoyed every minute of it. There is one question I have about it. As much as I enjoyed the whole segment and I love seeing Dave Batista back, I understand why they would bring him back as a heel. He has been treated poorly by the WWE since being in Hollywood. He's always wanted a big comeback. Triple H has been placed as the reason for him not being treated as well as he deserved, and they have all this other history going on. So I thought you would bring the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy, one of the most popular movies in the world, one of the most popular characters in the franchise, one of the most popular actors in the world, to come back to Monday Night Raw and set on a road to WrestleMania to the accolades of thousands. Who wouldn't want to see Drax the Destroyer now that he's not just Dave Batista anymore? He does have a whole nother entity. And how cool would it have been if he could have came out at WrestleMania, maybe in his Drax paint or whatever, and go into battle for the last time against Triple H and settle this war once and for all, and he has his big bow out to the WWE, and then he can truly retire happily, which is the whole point of this whole thing, which is fantastic, and that would be a great thing to do. But they brought him back as a bad guy to go up against one of the greatest bad guys of all time in Triple H, and the dynamic just somewhat seems off. But the way that they went about this was seemingly done very well. However, my question is, as a fan of wrestling, as you guys are, and you have all seen historically throughout the years, whenever Dave Batista talks about Ric Flair, the man can hardly contain his emotions. The guy becomes almost like a blubbering, tear-dripping machine. He talks about Ric Flair with such reverence and respect and love. And he loves the man like a father and all this. And you have a hard time believing that Dave Batista would do this to Ric Flair, right? But now that we've seen it, it almost at the same time gives it that much more meaning. Because he feels this way about Ric Flair, because he loves this man so much, he beat the shit out of him regardless of his own personal feelings, just to send a message to the game. And that's some powerful shit. And that was a great, great ending to Monday Night Raw. And I love being able to say that. Look how excited I am. Look how animated and energetic I am, because Monday Night Raw went off with a bang. And that was just one segment. The rest of the show did feature a couple of great moments, but for the most part, like I said, we got practical Monday Night Raw decision making. While we had a great tag team matchup to kick things off, we seen Aleister Black and Ricochet take on the newly crowned WWE Raw Tag Team Champions, The Revival. And The Revival would lose. Now, in this case, it's a double-edged sword because they're going against two of the best of the best. Like, how could you complain that The Revival lost to a pairing of Aleister Black and Ricochet? But I come back at you with, why the fuck are they a team right now anyway? Why were they just thrown together to fight The Revival? There are no other fucking real tag teams. You really don't want to build the tag team division that much that for 2 consecutive weeks in a row, you have NXT guys come up and beat your Raw Tag Team Champions. In this case, like I said, these are the top stars. And last week, you could at least say Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are an actual tag team with real chemistry and history, and it would make sense that they would actually beat The Revival because they have beaten The Revival before. You can't say that in this case, but you can't complain about Aleister Black and Ricochet picking up a win on Monday Night Raw, and they looked fantastic tonight. This was a fun match to watch. They did a lot of cool maneuvers. We seen them do simultaneous flips at the beginning of this thing, off of the ropes. All of the high-flying dramatics that Ricochet brings to the ring is great. Aleister Black's presence is always welcome, and at least they didn't have a microphone in his hand and they didn't break his aura. He just felt like Aleister Black tonight, although he was in a very weird tag team with a guy that I don't think he's actually been too friendly with back down in NXT. But that, put all fucking logic and semantics to the side. This was a fun match to watch. I had a good time watching that tag team matchup. Maybe it just comes out of the fact that I enjoy watching Ricochet and I enjoy Aleister Black that much. So it was a fun match to watch. But watching the Revival lose for the second straight week in a row, they just don't feel like tag team champions to me. They're carrying the belts, but do they feel like champs to you? Because they don't feel like champs to me. That's just one of many complaints we could have about the show. Like I said, the match, regardless, was great. It was a fun match, but terrible to see the Revival lose. So there's that typical Raw booking. And you want to talk about typical Raw? We go from this to Baron Corbin. We have to fucking find out what he thinks about Roman Reigns. Who gives a shit what Constable Corbin Dickhead has to say about his feelings towards Roman Reigns? Fuck him. Who cares? Why are we wasting minutes of TV time hearing this man's opinion? He means nothing. He's not an authority figure. He's just a random wrestler. How many random people did you guys interview tonight to find out how they felt about their comments they made about a Roman Reigns before he left? Who cares? Moving on. Gives a shit. What happens the next time he's crossed paths? Who cares? Dead air. More dead air comes in the form of Elias. I can't even believe I'm saying this to you guys. Many of my longtime fans, you guys know, I want to walk with Elias. I love that dude. I think he's one of the best things about Monday Night Raw. Or was the best things about Monday Night Raw. Until they just flat out forgot that the guy knew how to wrestle. And they made him this perennial joke. That he just comes out and he digs on the fans a little bit. My name is Elias and your town sucks. And he gets the boos that you want to get him to get. And at one point his heat was nuclear. And you didn't pull the trigger on any of it. And now here he sits, months after any of his momentum was even left. And he's just being continuously interrupted by person after person that now it's a gag. Now it's a gag. It's a thing they're going to do. And he's not just going to be interrupted by one person. He's going to be interrupted by multiple people. Absolutely ridiculous. The Fall of Elias is one that I would love to see the documentary on. He must have really pissed somebody off. What was he, best friends with Arn Anderson in the back? Was he a Paul Heyman guy or something? Like, what is the problem? Is he friends with CM Punk? Does he not see eye to eye with a McMahon in the back? Does he not agree with the way Monday Night Raw has been booking him as of late? Because I don't think any of us with a brain agrees, and we agree more with Elias than we would agree with WWE on that. Don't you think? I certainly think so. All for him to get beat up by Dean Ambrose. Like, it just didn't even make sense. Nothing that happened in this thing made sense. Lacey Evans had to come out and show us what fucking outfit she decided to wear tonight in her big, stupid, ridiculous hats. Say nothing, do nothing, walk out, look at me, I'm going to interrupt Elias and leave and do nothing. Great. Who gives a shit about that? At least let her say something. I've said this before. Let her come out and tell every town, oh, my name's Lacey Evans. And I'm the lady of World Wrestling Entertainment. I'm here to bring class. But yous don't deserve that. Your town sucks. And I'm not going to lower myself to even show you guys what class is. And then she fucking walks out. I just wrote it for you and I didn't even try. Didn't take no effort on my part at all. And what did it take me? Like about 15 seconds to deliver that line? But no, you could waste a fucking minute and a half of her just trotting her stuff. Bam, bam. Banana, bam, bam. I am the lady. I have no point here. And I don't talk much. Gives a shit. Wasting my fucking time. Wasting Elias. With nonsense like this. And this is okay with you. This is why we hate Monday Night Raw. Dave Batista's why we love it. These are moments why we hate it. And this is the shit we got to get through to get to good moments. And these moments are few and far between. Sometimes they don't even come for months. For months. Tonight, was it worth the wait? Maybe. Let's be fair. Maybe it was. Anyway, Dean Ambrose, like I said, comes out there talking some shit to Elias. He starts talking about, Elias, what do you know how to play? You know how to play this song and that song. He starts rolling down a whole list of the greatest hits of the 70s and 80s. And he says, maybe we'll hit you with a little Thunderstruck, giving a nod to AC/DC. And then he's like, no, how about some Dirty Deeds? I chuckled there. I appreciated that line. What I don't appreciate is this new Dean Ambrose. Like, every week he's just like a new version of himself. And if he truly is on his way out, he's definitely just not giving a shit. Although he seems to be more comfortable and more happy than I've ever seen him. Maybe he knows he's leaving, so he's just having fun again. Because Dean Ambrose is very charismatic and he seems to be coming back into his own, as he's not impersonating Bane anymore. He's just being Dean Ambrose, and he seems to be having a lot of fun, and I can appreciate that. And he ends up delivering his own version of Dirty Deeds, the one we all come to know and love in the ring, that devastating DDT, on Elias. And that was it. That was it. It was over. And then the Riot Squad would come out for their match with Ronda Rousey and Natalya. And I went to the bathroom because it just didn't seem worth my time to even see this again. How many times have we seen this? Ronda Rousey has beaten every member of the Riot Squad, all for the last 3 weeks, and this is all vengeance for last week? Who cares? This is just the same shit. Recycled shit over and over and over and over again. But once again, like the majority of Monday Night Raw, this would somewhat be worth it in the end. We had Becky Lynch come out. And this is another thing that I'm going to be 50-50 on. Because while it makes sense for her to come out and attack during a Ronda Rousey match, she wants a shot at Ronnie. She takes shots at her all the time on Twitter. She's always in her mindset back on her road to WrestleMania. And I'm digging the Becky Lynch vibe when it comes to that. And it makes sense for her to jump in here. It would have also made sense for Charlotte Flair to be at Ric Flair's birthday party and have her jump in over there, which is what I expected to happen tonight. But what they gave me instead was just as good, if not maybe even a little bit better than that. So I somewhat expected Becky Lynch to return to the arena tonight, although she would find herself arrested in this moment after she would brutally assault everybody she could get her hands on with her crutches. She would end up being arrested as promised by the McMahon family and was carted off Monday Night Raw, Stone Cold Steve Austin style. Gotta throw that out there. And it was very, very good. It was intense, it was dramatic, and what was made a little bit better by the altercation that followed between Ronda Rousey and Stephanie McMahon. Now, Ronda Rousey was calling for Vince. And I think this whole entire segment would have had way much more weight if Vince got off his ass from the desk and went to the ring and was addressed by Ronda Rousey instead of Stephanie McMahon being the figurehead of the women's division and always having to have her beak in everything. Would have been much more effective to have Vinnie Mac out there and do this to Becky Lynch. To Ronda Rousey, I'm sorry. And then Ronda Rousey would be so irate, she's demanding that Stephanie McMahon puts Becky Lynch back in the main event because she wants to kick her ass. It was intense, it was great. Her body language, though, was awful. Ronda Rousey just seemed to be, wandering all over the place. She had a very weird way of standing while she was delivering her promo, and it just seemed very awkward and a little bit off-putting as you were viewing it. But I found, if you closed your eyes and you weren't watching the screen and you were just listening, which is what I opted to do after she started to make me nauseous with all her weird friggin', back and forth in the ring because she was just so amped she didn't know what to do with herself. If you closed your eyes and you just listened, it was intense, man. And it was good stuff from Ronda Rousey. Vocally, maybe some of her best work, but she needs to get a better in-ring presence and more ring awareness about herself because she seemed kind of lost, running around in circles like a lost dog almost. You don't do that during a promo segment. Anyway, as good as it was, Stephanie McMahon refused. She said Ronda Rousey's opponent at WrestleMania will be Charlotte Flair, and Ronda Rousey would respond by leaving the belt in the middle of the ring and walking out. I thought this was a great segment. It was very, very different from anything you've ever seen. Did you ever for 1 minute expect Ronda Rousey to just lay the title down at Stephanie McMahon's feet and walk away? That's some pretty shocking stuff. That's something different. They are thinking outside the box for this women's championship road to WrestleMania. I didn't think they could book anything any more interesting than they were already doing, but they seem to be trotting on a different path than I expected, and I always appreciate that, because when you make it unpredictable for me, that gives me a reason to tune back in. So, like, this is another one of the segments that we appreciate from a Monday Night Raw, because they took the time to think and do something different, and now we have seemingly no women's champion. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H are walking around in the back with this belt like, huh? What do we do? And I'm sitting there thinking, like, why aren't all the other girls in the back, like, running out to try to get this belt? It's up for grabs, apparently. Alexa Bliss didn't want it that bad. She didn't just automatically go and be like, hey, listen, let me take it. I'll take it. Somebody give a shit. They looked stunned as she walked in the back with her husband. And it was interesting, man. I definitely appreciated this whole entire segment. Let's scroll down the notes here. I wish I didn't scroll down these notes right now. The next segment was Jinder Mahal in the ring talking about why he wasn't invited to Ric Flair's birthday party. And I'm sitting in my chair like, you're at Monday Night Raw, dickhead. You're there. Just fucking go out to the ring. Watch it in the back. You're in the same place that the birthday party is happening, you colossal, weird-nippled idiot. Why are we watching Jinder Mahal still? So that Kurt Angle could come out? I don't get it. I don't get it. 3 weeks ago, this guy's on TV telling us I don't got it anymore. I can't do this anymore. I'm about to hang it up. And now he's been in more matches than he's been since his initial return. I don't get it. Why were we subjected to this? For Kurt Angle to get a cheap win against some foreign superstar? What is this, the 90s? Who cares? Did you give a shit that the Sing midgets were flipped around like a bunch of trash? No. Because this is par for the course. Who cares? I didn't. I'll tell you this much, I cared about the outfit Alexa Bliss was wearing tonight. I was talking to some of my friends on Twitter, and we were discussing how Alexa just looked very good tonight. Well, that's what Alexa Bliss does. She don't fucking wrestle anymore. She comes out, she's a nice piece of eye candy, she makes you feel all kinds of ways, and then you start to regret it because you start to wonder why this girl just disintegrated in the ring so badly. No matter how much you may have loved her or liked her at one point, as a wrestler, as a performer, like you cannot deny, the girl has lost her step, and she has just become another pretty face. And while I appreciate looking at her pretty face and other pretty parts, I don't appreciate a moment of bliss as a segment on Monday Night Raw. I just do not. It takes away from the flow of the show, it's unnecessary, and it just speaks to, we have to get Alexa on TV. And I'm asking you why. If you're not going to put her in significant segments that have her involved in some sort of a program, like Jake the Snake used to do in the Snake Pit, or Roddy Piper used to do in Piper's Pit, or The Miz even does on Miz TV, for the most part, his segments on his talk shows pertain to themselves and are pushing their own agendas and their own matches. Alexa's moment of bliss is always about somebody else, and I'm just going to sit here, and now my segment's going to get interrupted because I'm just a female Elias. At this point, I'm going to have Finn Balor sit in front of me. I'm going to tell him, if you show me your abs, I'm going to show you my tits, is what I imagined she was going to say. I know this is a family show, so they're obviously not going to do that. So Leo Rush wants to come out and ruin everybody's fun. Not like we were going to see that exchange on the stage, you dumbasses. Everybody knows that wasn't going to happen. Only Buddy Murphy sees Alexa Bliss's tatas. And he's a lucky guy just for that. However, Lio Rush came out, ruined everybody's fun, and he got taunted by both Finn Balor and Alexa Bliss. Once again, childish insults, short jokes, kid jokes. What do you feel like you're not man enough and all this stuff? Next thing you know, we're having an impromptu matchup for the Intercontinental Championship, Finn Balor versus Lio Rush. They were pushing all the right buttons, and they got Lio Rush to agree to this matchup, even though at first he was like, he's got nothing to prove. And by the end of this thing, I enjoyed the match. I didn't so much enjoy a moment of bliss, but it led to this matchup between Lio Rush and Finn Balor. And what have I been telling you guys? You take Lio Rush away from the all-milk dud, boring, trashly Bobby Lashley, and he's a great performer. Even on the mic, he wasn't that annoying hip-hoppy, Bobby, show your ass guy. No, he was Lio Rush. He was straightforward. He was to the point. He was delivering on the microphone. He was not going to be shown up by Finn Balor and Alexa Bliss, and he took a step up like a man. And this 24-year-old kid showed you that he can hang in there with a guy like a Finn Balor. I met Lio Rush a couple of years back at a House of Glory show. The guy's barely as tall as I am, so I kind of know how I would look physically in a WWE ring, and I would not be imposing whatsoever because we're both smaller guys. But he's a genuine guy. Seen him pull off a killer match with Ken Broadway that night. It was absolutely breathtaking, and to see him on the big stage at a Monday Night Raw versus a Finn Balor does my heart some good, especially since Bobby Lashley had nothing to do with it. There was nothing that took any quality of this match down. It wasn't the greatest match, not like a 5-star classic, not even close to some of the NXT matches, but for a Monday Night Raw matchup, this was solid. This was a good showcase for a Lio Rush to show the world that he's not just a yippity-yap hype dog and that he can actually go in the ring. He's not just playing second fiddle to somebody in a tag team. He went out there and he stole his own little show tonight. I was very impressed by Lio Rush, and I hope to see them continue down this path with him because the guy is unbelievable and he deserves it. And he would be a great Intercontinental Champion. Believe me, we've just scratched the surface on Lio Rush. You might not like him only because you've been exposed to him by the WWE, but I guarantee you guys, once they let this guy loose and give him more moments like he had tonight, you are going to understand, if you don't already, that Lio Rush can be big time. And he would be a great Intercontinental Champion, in my opinion. Backstage, this is the moment of the night, you guys. This is the biggest moment. This is the biggest reason you got to watch Monday Night Raw. You ready for this one? This was unbelievable. This was epic. This was the moment of moments, okay? I just gave it away because I couldn't keep a straight face because this is a fucking joke. You have the Ascension backstage talking shit to Heavy Machinery. All right, now, once again, we go back to this kindergarten, or if you want to give them a little bit more credit, maybe 6th grade education type insults. They want to call Otis a pig. They say he looks like a pig. They cook fat jokes. Right? WWE creatives got nothing. They can't develop characters and tell stories in different, more interesting ways. We're just going to go back to toilet humor and child bullshit jokes, and it's going to be fine. You know, we're not going to care about the bullying aspect. We're not going to do anything interesting. We're just going to tell them to call them fat pigs. It's going to be what we're going to do. And in doing this, in booking this segment, the WWE did something they didn't even realize. And what they did was they gave Heavy Machinery a first look, a sneak peek at their fucking future on Monday Night Raw. Remember the Ascension? I barely do. And those two guys that were on Monday Night Raw, that's not the Ascension. You want to see the Ascension? Fire up your WWE Network. Go back a couple of years in NXT and watch those guys dominate the tag team division. That was the Ascension. This team? I don't know what the fuck they are. We've called them a million things. The Descension. The Ascension. Pick one. Choose it. Stick it to them. Because it doesn't fucking matter. We've seen them here tonight. We're going to have some sort of a fucking match between Heavy Machinery and the Ascension. Or they'll do singles matches, since that's what they like to do in the tag team divisions, and we'll get to that later. And I'm already disinterested. Who cares about the Ascension? Just more wasting of a promising tag team and 2 new faces in Otis and Tucker, Heavy Machinery. Bushwhackers 2.0, or Bushwhackers 2020. update them to more recent times. Bobby Lashley was all pissed off backstage at Lio Rush for taking the opportunity and saying yes to the match with Finn Balor, and I could care less. I thought it was a great decision. And go take a box of Milk Duds and shove them up your ass, Bobby Lashley, because I don't care what you have to think or say about what Lio Rush did. What he did was great. What you do is garbage, as made evident by the match you were supposed to have with Braun Strowman that never even got started, only became a Braun Strowman freight train show as he decided to shoulder tackle everybody on the outside, and poor Lio Rush, after trying to break away from Bobby Lashley tonight, we had to see him once again with Bobby Lashley, and for his trouble, what did he get? He got shoulder tackled that I thought the kid was dead. And why do we give a shit? Braun Strowman goes back to the top of the ramp. Braun, good for you. Go away. Cares. This was a waste. And not just because of Bobby Lashley being in it. And not just because Braun Strowman being in it. But because it was disinteresting. And I barely even paid attention. Because it wasn't worth my attention. Seth Rollins was backstage talking about how he's promising us he's going to defeat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And I certainly hope so. That's our call. That's what we think is going to happen. If it doesn't happen, I'm going to be upset. Very upset. And you'll be here to see it when it's all over. Trust me. Drew McIntyre, after being challenged by Dean Ambrose earlier in the night, is going to have a no disqualification match here. And this match went almost 10 minutes, and this was kind of cool. I kind of dug this match, although I already knew it was going to happen. We all know Dean Ambrose is now going to job his way down to the unemployment line after WrestleMania. It's just a matter of time till his contract expires and he is no more. And you can kind of tell by the way he's been being booked on Monday Night Raw. He's just losing week after week after week. He's coming out there. He's just being absolutely nuts. He's being crazy. He's being the lunatic fringe. And it was kind of fun. The match was okay. It didn't mean anything. It was a solid win for Drew McIntyre. We didn't have to see, during the actual match, we didn't have to see too much bullshit from the WWE, but they did decide to do something from earlier in the night and bring it into here tonight as Elias decided to get involved and somewhat cost him the match here. But this would also lead to Baron Corbin's second appearance on the show. And now we have this new teaming, and instead of Lashley, it's Drew and I don't get it. It's Drew and Corbin and Elias now? What is happening? And why do I care? Well, we were enjoying this match as a singles match. They ruined it with all the fucking nonsense at the end. And I could care less. And especially when now they brought out Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns to even the odds. And now on the same night, we're not going there. We're not going to go there. We're not going to tell you guys that on the same night, the guy came back and announced he's beaten cancer. He was out there in the ring doing stuff. And I know I told you guys last week that if that's what we seen, I was going to go off. And some of you guys might be waiting for that. But we're going to take the high road, you guys. We're taking it. We don't take it all the time. We're taking it right now. Because I'm not going to be that guy. And until I find out, we're not going to talk about it. And that's the end of that. Couple of Superman punches hit. Everybody was all over it. The crowd was really into the show tonight. Probably much more so than I was for the first time in a long time. And then they kind of killed it with a women's tag team division feature, which was going to be a singles match. Because what better way to feature the new women's tag team champions than putting them in singles competition? We got Bayley with Sasha Banks taking on Nia Jax with Tamina, the Samoan Slaughterhouse. I can't say it without even picturing two gigantic cows being pulled into a volcano somewhere down in Hawaii somewhere. This match was not fun. I didn't care. I was immediately pissed off that they weren't competing in a tag team matchup. They're giving the women's division the same respect as the men's division as pertaining to the tag teams, and that's zero. That's absolutely zero respect, and I could care less about any of that. And then we ended the show with the Ric Flair 70th birthday celebration, which we already kind of touched upon, and it was fucking fantastic. It was beautifully done, and whether you liked it or you didn't, we are going to be set on the road to WrestleMania to be seeing Big Dave Batista versus the Game Triple H. And honestly, I wasn't too interested in this matchup. We all kind of knew this was coming. It's been on the rumor boards for a while. It's kind of been whispered over the last couple of WrestleManias that it was supposed to happen. And if you had your ear to the ground, so to speak, you kind of had a feeling this was one of the things that was going to happen tonight. I actually assumed Dave Batista was going to be part of the celebration, was going to be in there at the party as everybody was getting down in the ring, and then was going to turn around and just level Triple H. But they took it to a whole nother level with this attack on Ric Flair. And as I said, I can appreciate it, and I thought this was a great way to go off the air. Everybody is going to be on edge until next Monday night, and we cannot wait to hear from the animal, Dave Batista, coming back for some reason on this grudge for Triple H, and it's probably going to be some of the best shit we're going to get on Monday Night Raw, because if Triple H has proven anything, it's that when he gets the old guys on the show, it's usually the best program on the show, because nobody does it better than the guys from their generation, and they prove it on a weekly fucking basis. I loved seeing Sting tonight. I loved seeing Ricky Steamboat tonight. Interesting, we didn't see Arn Anderson. Guy gets himself fired 1 week before Ric Flair's birthday bash. What's going on over there? Bruce Pritchard had absolutely nothing to probably do with tonight's show, as he is now the new creative writer as of just a couple of days ago at the WWE. I don't think he had that much input into tonight's show. But then again, this show is being written on the fly, and probably was being written minute by minute. But Ric Flair's birthday bash has been being advertised for months. So this is something that they have had in the works, and something that they knew they were going to do. I really thought it was going to be Becky as well to get involved. But as soon as you seen that Charlotte wasn't involved, there was no reason. And Ronda wasn't out there as well. So why would Becky Lynch go out there? To attack Stephanie? To attack Triple H? Maybe. That would have made sense. But it definitely would have taken away from the impact of Dave Batista. So I can understand why they did that. But I definitely assumed over the last few weeks, more than anything, that Becky Lynch was going to trash that party. But that's not what we've seen. Tonight's Monday Night Raw was not the worst Raw in the world. And that is a tremendous compliment, considering what we say here on a weekly basis. And I want to thank you guys, as always, for continually showing your support to this show. We have hit 1,270 subscribers, and I love each and every one of you more than you will ever know. And I am so proud of what we have built here. And I hope I didn't upset anybody or offend anybody enough to make you walk away tonight. All I hope to have done is have inspired you and entertained you enough to consider giving us a subscribe and joining this family if you are not already one of the over 1,200 plus that fill my comment section with some of the best, most knowledgeable stuff you will ever read. It's definitely worth being a part of this community just to read what you guys say, because I have some of the best, most respectful, and smartest fans in the world, and that is what I'm looking for. And I know that most of you guys get where I'm going with most of the things that I say and support me for the most part, and hopefully you continue to do so. And you could continue to show your support by smashing that like button right now if you're already subscribed. If you're not, don't forget to do that first, and then hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and then share this video with each and one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they are shocked as shit to see Big Dave Batista coming on back to Monday Night Raw in a vicious heel-like manner. I can't even tell you guys how much I enjoyed it. And that is going to be the end of this Monday Night Raw review on this Monday, February the 25th, 2019. Thank you guys, as always. I can't say it enough. And I look forward, for the first time in a long time, to next week's Monday Night Raw, to see what the hell goes down. And until then, we got tomorrow. Who needs tomorrow? We do. And that's going to be SmackDown Live and the contract signing between Kofi Mania and Daniel Bryan. Should be very interesting to see. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team. Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Yes, I know he's a mallet, but he is my Sledgehammer. Just throwing that out there for all you cynics, all you assholes like me that like to call people on shit. Thor the Sledgehammer, the best weapon in the war of professional wrestling. I don't know why I'm going off the rails here right now, but I completely fucked up the outro. But you guys, if you know it, and you love it, and you can go back and watch a different one another time, or you can just continue it on for me. But we cannot continue on without introducing the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue the Snowball Microphone, and the most important member of the team, as always, and I won't mess this up ever, is you. Cannot thank you guys enough for being a part of Sledgehammer TV. And as always, paying the bills with Audible. Audible have over 180,000 books that speak to you. All you got to do is follow our exclusive link at audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv right now and get your free audiobook when you sign up for a 30-day free trial. Don't cost you a dime. You can go and listen to any kind of books you want. You don't have to dirty your fingers flipping pages. You don't have to drain any of your eye power. All you have to do is plug in your buds on your favorite media devices, your iPhones, your tablets, wherever it is you ingest your stuff, and you can listen to one free audio book. All you got to do is go to audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv, as you see on the screen right now, to redeem it. It's a great way to support the show. That, my friends, is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, right here on Sledgehammer TV, only on YouTube.com, the only show you're going to watch this week that's probably going to have absolutely nothing to say about Roman Reigns. Boom.